Okay, Adam. How much do you want to talk about Battlefront 2's controversies,
Oh my
debacle?
god. Where do we start? Do we start with the international investigation into whether or not it should be regulated as gambling? Do we talk about
Well, why don't we
the
start
fact
off-
that they completely broke every promise that they made after they fucked up the first game? Do we start talking about how loot boxes are affecting gaming right now?
Let's go with the loot boxing.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on loot boxing? Obviously, besides from what you just said.
Okay, so I don't care about loot boxes that have cosmetic shit in them. I play Counter-Strike Go. That's all Counter-Strike Go is like loot boxes with fucking skins in them for your guns. Doesn't affect your gameplay at all. The problem is that in games like Shadow of Mordor or
Which is also EA. It seems to be
Or
that EA
Battlefront
is the
2.
biggest.
EA
of this.
is probably the biggest offender. I'd say
Because isn't Overwatch, which is a huge... Isn't that mostly cosmetic shit?
yeah, everything
Nothing
in
is-
there is cosmetic
nothing
shit.
is
none of that is gameplay
Power
affecting.
ups.
Yeah, none of that is gameplay.
That's what I
affecting.
thought, because no one gives a shit about that.
Yeah, and that's Activision Blizzard. Overwatch is.
Yes.
And then I'd say it'd probably be EA is definitely hands down the biggest offender here.
Yeah.
But what they're doing is locking like actual game content behind RNG loot box paywalls,
It's RNG.
random number generation.
Oh, okay.
So it's just the chance that you get something is totally randomly selected by.
So
the
one of
program.
the big deals was, this is the one that everybody flipped shit about, because it seemed that Battlefront was okay to a point. It seemed that the last
was
2
it
weeks.
the first Battlefront?
No. I mean, Battlefront 2 was kind of viewed
Well,
as
I've heard
okay. It was the
there's
last
some
2 weeks. It was the
game-
last 2 weeks of the show, not the show. Jesus, the last 2 weeks before release of the game that they just started throwing all this shit out there. That just was like,
Well, yeah, they did the beta and the loot boxes were in the fucking beta.
yeah, and people were like, this is game breaking.
Yeah,
Like,
it was game breaking then
because it's pay to win.
They claimed that they fix it. It's
You
definitely,
pay, you win.
It's definitely pay to win, but it's also the level of pay to win that it is.
Yeah.
Which
So
I don't know if you took down any of those numbers or the
I took down a couple of them.
Okay.
One of the things that pissed off a lot of people was that the amount to unlock the heroes was very high. Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker, who clearly are the most popular of the game.
yeah, they're like series
They
standard
were
characters.
Yeah, ones that you shouldn't have to unlock heroes. They're one of the biggest parts of the game when
Yeah,
you want
like
to play
those
the
are the two default heroes that you should probably have.
Yes. And then the ones could be whatever. But either way, I think they should have been unlocked like in the first game.
Yeah.
But okay. 40,000 credits, which the game's based on star card like credits. 40,000 credits needed to unlock one of them. Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker were both 40,000 credits. Now, okay. Well, how much do you get about each box? Mostly from what I've seen, you get around like 320 credits if you win a match.
Yeah.
So, but either way, somebody
I can't remember. Shit, who was I? It might have been Angry Joe,
Oh, yeah.
where he was talking about how he scored number 1 or he scored number 2.
He was. I saw the video myself. Actually, he had him,
and
he was
played with
playing.
somebody else.
He was playing with somebody who's like a major league gaming good guy.
and got like 50 kills and 2
yeah,
deaths or something.
he had
like
number
that.
1, and he was like number 13.
And they got the same amount of credits.
Yeah, that was during the
Because
beta, but
there's
he did play
Well,
recently.
there's a cap out.
Yeah, he played it recently, and the guy who he was playing with again only got about 10 extra points, 10 extra credits than he did, and it was the same style. Like, it's clearly still really messed up. And so what happened was somebody on Reddit kind of did a little bit of math and put together that it probably would take about 40 hours to acquire, based on the amount of credits that you get per game and the lockouts and all that, from the standard mode, the arcade mode that locks you out after like 8 hours of play.
5 games, I think.
Yeah, it's fucking bullshit. That it would take about 40 hours to acquire just one.
Of gameplay.
of gameplay.
Not of time in general.
Yeah, 40 hours of gameplay just to unlock one of them.
And how many heroes are in the game?
I think it's double. I think it's 16. I think it was 8 in the last one. It's either it was 6 in the last one, and there's like 12 or 14 or something like that in this one. So if you want to unlock both Darth Vader and Luke, it would take about 40 hours of gameplay, and that's not buying anything else. Mm-hmm. That's not buying guns, not buying upgrades. That's just strictly just to get Luke or Darth. And so when someone pulled that out during an Ask Me Anything with AEA on Reddit, and this is kind of the one that everybody goes to whenever it comes to...
I think it was DICE. It was actually DICE, the developers, not EA, the publisher.
Oh, it wasn't EA, the publisher? Okay, well, either way, it was the most generated PR bullshit answer I've read, where it says, in our games, we like everyone to have a sense of accomplishment whenever... I'm just paraphrasing this. Even though I have the computer right in front of me, I could just read it, but I'm not going to. It's a big long paragraph. But long story short, it pretty much says, in our games, we like everyone to have a sense of accomplishment and pride for what they work for in our games.
Yeah.
And it has, let me see, 600,000 downvotes.
It's up to 600,000 now?
And that's the article that I pulled that from, that information, was only like 3 days ago. So, it is, I think people just, it is officially the most downvoted comment in all of Reddit history. Yeah. I think prior to that, the closest one was like 23,000.
Yeah, I think it's like 27 or something.
Yeah, I hope that I didn't write another 0, but I'm pretty sure I was positive when it said 60,000 downvotes. Its Metacritic score is only 0.09. It went up from 0.08. And that's out of 10. Out of, did I write out how many? Oh, damn it. I believe it was out of 5,000, like 5,400 users.
Reviews, yeah.
And it was 0.09. It's currently at a 69%. Critically, yeah. Out of 100. So, it's not looking too good.
No.
On the PR side of it. People are pissed off about it.
Well, let's talk about this too while we're here. So what EA talked about doing was temporarily disabling the lootbox system.
They did the day before it released, because they knew it was a shitstorm.
But in that announcement, they talk about how those transactions will eventually come back in a different form.
Yes.
So let me tell you the story of New Coke. Coca-Cola used to be sweetened with sugar, and everybody likes Coca-Cola for the most part. Not everybody does, but you know what I mean. It's clearly like the most world-recognized soft drink. Then they brought out New Coke, and everybody fucking hated New Coke. It tasted like shit, and they're like, we want the old Coke back. And Coke brought back the old Coke because the New Coke thing was a marketing strategy.
To get people to buy more Coke?
No, to get people to demand the old Coke formula back. And they did bring it back, but they changed out the sugar for high fructose corn syrup because it was cheaper. And people hadn't been drinking real Coke for so long, they didn't notice the difference. And Coke is still made with high fructose corn syrup today. And that's exactly what they're doing with this. We're going to take away the loot box. This is the new Coke period. They're going to take away the loot boxes. People are going to go out and buy this game and think, oh, they fixed it.
Yeah, and then they're going to add
it all back.
Yeah, they're going to bring it back. And you know what they're going to probably do it with? So that people who are just buying the game can do catch-up.
Yeah.
That's what they'll do. But they did remove it. I don't think the game, honestly, is selling too much. Like, I'm sure the game is doing fine.
I'm pretty sure they're losing money, actually.
It's being, like, boycotted everywhere. Like, everywhere I go, there's just a shitload of copies. Like, I think people are... There's so much... When, like, Fox News and CNN are reporting about this, like, possible gambling game...
But, yeah, let's talk about that, too. Yeah, that's good. That's a good place to go.
Okay, go ahead.
So, the state of Hawaii...
Oh, yeah, I have that.
Is getting involved. France, Belgium, I think Germany, China.
They're one of their representatives in Hawaii. I wrote it down. Chris Lee calls it predatory practices in online gaming and significant financial consequences it can have on children. And he also called it a Star Wars themed online casino designed into luring kids into spending money. And I was like, man,
they're fucked.
That is not good. And you know what else? The other representative, because I think
there's 2 states in the United States that are public about it. There's like 7 states.
Yeah, they said that they're currently looking into it, but they're not like coming out with it yet. But the other representative, Sean Quinlan, compared the idea of this, because it's Star Wars, to the idea of Joe Camel and smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
And then they had, it was actually, I watched the whole video. Then they had the concerned mom. Then they had like a church minister or something like that. Yeah. And I was like, okay, well, the church minister, whatever. The mom, okay, that's fine. Then they bring out this big fucking fat dude. I don't know, he's not huge, but he's just this dude in like a fucking Hawaiian shirt. Yeah. Like the whitest guy they could find. And he's just like, I don't really like this. And as a gamer, I find this really concerning. And I'm like, shut the fuck up and sit down.
Let's talk about the Australian government.
They brought out a guy to represent gamers.
The Australian government, somebody sent them a letter, and the Australian government responded and talked about how there's gamers in the government and that they're looking into it as well.
Oh my god.
So,
yeah, they're saying that legislation, they're working with other states for possible legislation, and it's just... That's not the publicity you want, especially when your movie comes out a month. That movie comes out in seriously 20 days.
Yeah.
And your image of Star Wars, yeah, they fucking straight up told them, get rid of this shit.
Yep.
Yeah, EA, because I'm not going to say this, Disney has not had the greatest luck with Star Wars this year. There's been a lot, like everything they put out with Star Wars, there's always some sort of controversy behind it. And it hasn't been good. Like, first it was the 2 people who directed the Lego movie were originally panned. They were canned, but they were penned to direct the Han Solo movie. And the thing was that the Han Solo movie was apparently having so many issues, they weren't liking the way it was looking, that they straight up fired the guys and brought on Ron Howard.
Yeah.
Then they're like, this is what we want to do. So they fired them. Then they had the guy who was going to do Star Wars Episode 9, Colin Trevorrow, I believe, who I think did that Jurassic World.
Yeah.
I believe that is the same guy, Colin Trevorrow. I'm pretty positive it is. But then he got shit canned off of Star Wars Episode 9, and then they brought on J.J. Abrams. They're having all these issues with the filming. The only one who hasn't been having an issue was their Rian Johnson, who did Last Jedi, Episode 8. So they're happy with him, but there's been all this like negative stuff about like, man, are these movies going to turn out okay? So Disney's image is like, oof, like that's not good. When you're losing directors back and forth firing and you can't get your vision right, that doesn't look good. And so then this happens. When Star Wars is being plastered all over the news as Star Wars, a.k.a. gambling ring, on Star Wars themed predatory actions for children. Yeah. Online Star Wars casino.
Yeah.
Like, being compared to Joe Camel. Like, that's not good.
Yeah, this is bad press. This is bad press
so
for
Disney
EA,
said,
and it's bad
get
press
that
for
shit
Disney.
out of there.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if Disney maybe looks into maybe getting someone else to have the rights.
I hope they do.
I hope they do too, because it's fucking amazing. And I just feel bad for DICE. I posted, like my friends,
here's
people made fun of me.
Gonna happen.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, this is what EA does. They use their little corporate octopus tentacles and they fucking strangle every studio that they buy to death, and then they just throw it to the side. That's what they did with Visceral. That's what they did with LucasArts. That's what they do.
I miss LucasArts.
Well, yeah, because they made good fucking Star Wars games.
Pandemic? Didn't they do?
Yeah, they killed Pandemic.
The original creators of Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2.
Yep.
I saw a bunch of
Mercenaries and the Saboteur.
Oh yeah, the Mercenary games. I remember the Mercenary games. I loved all the comments, because if you go into any of because they're posted all over the place, the Facebook EA games. One of the most highly thumbs up comments is heroes are purchased in the marketplace. And the tagline of the game is "Heroes are born on the battlefield," and it just heroes are bought in the market store or in the store. And so like everybody's getting in on just ripping them apart. And then I think I posted a GIF of Jabba the Hutt holding Princess Leia.
Yeah.
And it just says EA's hold on DICE.
Yeah.
Like that's exactly because DICE made a good game. The game, from what I heard,
what I hear is it's a massive gameplay improvement over the original battle. Well, I don't want to say the original, but like what was it, Battlefront 2015 or whatever?
Yeah, whatever that one's called, EA Battlefront.
Yeah,
it specifically says like Battlefront EA, Star Wars Battlefront EA, and the one thing I'm kind of just disappointed is I kind of want to just buy a used copy so I can get through the story mode and just put it down because the story mode's only like 4 hours. Yeah.
It's not much.
If you play it on like normal difficulty, it's like 4 hours, and if you play it on a harder one, it can get a little more out of it. But apparently, from what I hear, it's not the greatest story. But here's the one thing that I'm kind of I want to find out because there's a possible idea of who Rey's parents are in that game.
That sounds like some bullshit that they threw in there. I'm
not trying to give the spoiler, but it makes sense. It really does. Because the last level takes place on Jakku. And it's just like... I heard it. I heard the plot because I was like, I don't know if I'm going to get this game. And I was like, now I kind of want to know it because I've been really getting into the Star Wars canon recently. Like, my new job has me driving around a lot.
Yeah.
So I've been doing audiobooks.
And you've been doing some of the
some of the Star Wars ones, and I've been enjoying them, at least from what I have. And, if that's a possibility, that this Star Wars campaign has something to do with the plot moving forward.
Yeah.
That'll suck. Unless they just, and whenever I see Last Jedi and they completely get rid of it.
Why don't you just watch it on YouTube?
Oh, yeah. I could just do that. That actually.
And then you pay EA $0.
Well, if I buy it used, I'm not giving them anything, am I?
No, yeah, but you're wasting money on something that you're going to play for 4 hours and then never touch again.
I've done that before. I bought Heavenly Sword.
Yeah, but Heavenly Sword's a good game.